do it.
All right.
The slugfest continues.
Gotta say, I'm a little scared for my toes because we didn't see any Dark Willow. This is kind of looking like a 2-0. So I really hope we get to see Dark Willow. I honestly expected a BO3 here. But, oh boy, please be Coast.
You've made some mistakes, my friend.
You'll be fine without the pinky toe, but you know, every additional toe inward, I think we're up in the ante in terms of impact here. So your skiing career is on the line here, Bowie.
Oh, no. Skiing.
A lot of skiing in South America.
Yes. Oh, so they take the Timber out, huh? It's actually one of the most heroes for Sacred.
Okay.
So,
and we're back.
Okay. Nyx is available, by the way.
And we're back.
Dark Willow available too, you know.
Ooh.
Well, at least somebody purple. That's a step closer to the Dark Willow. It's Void Spirit.
Well, that Nyx looks pretty good, Bowie.
I don't know if they're gonna pick Willow, buddy. Oh god. Thunder Predator can still pick it though, but will you pick Willow into Nyx? I don't think so. So I'm not feeling really good, but let's change the subject here.
Oh, okay.
Void Spirit.
Thank you.
Void Spirit. Really good when you can when you bend that puck. So Thunder Predator stealing that from Beast Coast, and we did see a couple of offlane voids too, right? So you can flex that pick.
Okay, now this is really cool though. Last pick will go to Beast Coast. They've got 10th pick. This Underlord is a flex. This could very well be mid.
Yeah, they like doing that.
Very cool.
I don't remember the matchup though. What was the matchup? I think it was Puck. I think it was a hero that like usually bursts people.
It was definitely a Puck.
Just like,
because we were talking about how he couldn't phase shift anything.
Yeah,
and you can just like keep bullying him. There's like nothing you can do.
I guess it's kind of similar to Void Spirit. Like he hates the root, and he's never gonna solo queue the Underlord. So
we also had Puck versus Earth Spirit too. Same idea, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's that Nyx. See you later, buddy.
All right. So if we're not gonna see the Willow here, what are the other options? So I know we're not really a fan of Shadow Fiend in this panel, but Chris Luck played a lot of Shadow Fiend recently. So in case this Underlord is actually an offlaner, we could see a little bit of that. Pretty good at bursting these squishy heroes like Caudal, Void Spirit.
Yeah, I wonder what 4 they want to go into this Caudal and with their current heroes. Shadow Shaman is kind of nice with the Grimstroke. Talked about that before. Plus versus a Void Spirit. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, I just hope they don't get into the same, like they had that Caudal Phoenix matchup where like both supports were really squishy and they had no stuns. So Shaman definitely kind of solves the stun part, although they're both really squishy too.
I mean, I think Earth Spirit's also just fine. Speaking of that hero, like I think Earth Spirit is a completely easy pick out of this phase for Beast Coast if they want.
I like Shaker. I wouldn't mind a Shaker. You know, if you have the Chakra Magic, you can Fissure, Ancient Totem again. Once you have the shard.
Shaker on Thunder Predator side. Yeah,
like combo with the Caudal potentially. You can't forget about like the Bristleback type heroes. The Caudal's weird. He opens up all these extra heroes you don't normally think about as threatening, but you have to consider. You know, a
like
9th pick Bristle with
really...
Caudal could really mess you up.
10 seconds remaining.
I don't think Ember is an option when you know that Chris Luck plays mid Underlord. I think you just like you cannot play Ember mid if there's an Underlord.
That's not good.
I think it's just a nightmare.
He's just getting more than you and better than you, pretty much. But with the Nyx ban, the Bat is still in, so that might be a next ban, I think, for Beast Coast.
Who?
Ban the Bat. I feel like Bat's actually still...
Oh.
I just wouldn't have to worry about it later on.
Who? Bat Underlord?
Yeah.
I would say not good for Underlord.
It's the weirdest matchup ever.
Yeah.
He just can't really abuse the Bat at all.
Sounds pretty shit.
Team ban.
Okay, they're going to take the Invoker out. That kind of leads me to believe this Void Spirit's not going to be middle, because Void Spirit actually doesn't care about Invoker that much. Really easy to dodge the EMP. Super hard to combo the Void Spirit.
Remaining.
kind of a weird ban in my opinion.
Remaining.
Yeah, I would say. There
Are you guys ready for Chris Luck Ursa?
I thought you were going to say Magnus for a second. I'd
I'd love to see that too. I mean, maybe, but no. I'm selling you on something real. All right.
This like a mid Ursa?
No. Did I say Chris Luck? I meant to say K1. I'm sorry.
Okay.
K1 Ursa.
I'm always ready for more Ursa. Ursa seems
ban the Veno. K1 likes it. The Grimstroke is a great enabler for it. That's all arrows towards Ursa.
I want to see more Abaddon carry, dude.
Earth Spirit. The Abaddon carry was surprisingly good. I kind of thought it was a meme, but if you get away with the lane, like get a fast Radiance and you kind of take over.
Yeah, because like, how do you fight into Abaddon Underlord unless you have I hear like Ursa or like a lot of burst damage, which right now Thunder Predator doesn't have.
Yeah, that was like the easiest pick of all time. It's like, do not waste. If they ever wasted 1 second reserve time, I was gonna yell. It's just like, just pick Earth Spirit, dude. Look at this game. Look at your players. Look at like the bands. Like Earth Spirit is just the best pick there, without question.
10 seconds.
Great team fight. More front line. Love it.
5 seconds.
He just makes life easy in so many ways.
Ooh. So.
All right. Well, I don't think we want Underlord mid anymore.
Would agree there. A little bit of an early OD, but they have 9th pick, so that's fine. And quite good against Underlord and Earth Spirit.
So OD with Cotto, that is really good.
Oh my gosh, is this the sniper setup? Oh, did Bowie actually predict this?
Nah, it won't be yet. It'll be 10th of anything, but there's like no way, dude.
Still, I mean, you are right. Of all the use cases, OD is a classic sniper matchup, man.
All right, one question.
Okay.
If Sniper gets picked, will I only have to cut one toe?
Yeah. You can have both redeemed.
Oh, both?
You know what? You can have your toes back and I'll cut a toe.
I'll give you
if they pick Sniper.
Okay.
All right.
You guys are so nice. Thank you.
A toe still gets sacrificed, so it's fine. The Dota gods will be happy. And whoa, all right, not the Ursa, but the CK. Another stun, another K1 special. Oh, I love it.
No. Wait a second.
No? No?
I mean, yeah, it's just that Whisper played a lot of offlane CK. I'm confusing, guys. I'm in another match. It's actually Unknown versus Ego Boys. They play offlane CK. This is probably K1 CK. Sorry.
Okay.
I mean, it's his hero. That's like the one I always think of when I think of Hector is CK all the time.
Really good versus this kind of, like, they're not squishy, but you pretty much burst anything. And OD, like, once Chaos Knight gets levels, he has so much reach, he can just destroy the OD.
Yeah, and you build. It's like not a counter to OD in the sense that you get a big mana pool, but you just get so tanky with your damage output that OD's ult doesn't one-shot you or something. But now the Tidehunter, this is a good choice against the CK.
Yeah, it's a classic versus the CK. It's one of like the higher percentage gains in terms of like matchups.
AoE physical reduction sounds good.
Just reveal the Void Spirit is a 4, right? With this Tide pick.
Most likely, yeah. Which is, I think, fine.
Unless it's OD 4. But then I actually feel like Void Spirit is a better 4 than OD. Okay.
I guess that'll be their option at the end, right? They pick their one next, and then depending on the matchup made, they can decide. But should be OD 2, I would think, and then Void 4.
5 seconds.
All right.
Radiant team.
Ban the Viper to cover their Tide. They ban the Ursa. PL is also still in. I think that'll be the next ban, probably for Beast Coast. Maybe that's a little greedy, I guess, but it's also a classic hero versus CK.
Who else is good versus OD?
Gyrocopter. Oh, versus OD? OD middle?
We're still thinking that we need a mid for Beast Coast to go up against this OD mid. I really don't think it's going to be Underlord.
It's definitely not. Like, I honestly feel like the lane is fine. Later into the game, it kind of gets hard because OD, like, he's not going to max the orb that early.
Yeah.
So if this is mid OD, he can just buy a BKB, honestly. I don't feel like it's that big. Like, it's not that big of a problem if you itemize properly.
Okay.
But it's unlikely. Because, like, if you think about it, OD has no wave shove, right? If you actually play this Underlord mid, what does... Until OD has Meteor Hammer, and even then, he's going to have to use it in the wave. Underlord's going to be, like,
oh my god. I sniped it.
Thanks,
the bristleback comes out with the coddle again.
Nice.
I told you guys not to sleep on it. This is so scary.
Well, I mean, you say you sniped it. I wore my bristleback bin today, so
Okay.
sorry,
well,
bud. I was way ahead of you.
I piggybacked on your
I had
big
the
brain
subtle
prediction.
snipe.
10
Yeah.
seconds.
All right, I
Good
actually
work.
want the sniper here. That Void Spirit's not core. I think sniper is pretty good.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh, please, no. My toes.
Please, sniper, Viscoast. My, oh no.
I think they're
All right,
going to
you
do
have a
something
minute.
crazy like Razor or something. That's another one against the OD that goes way back.
That would be quite the
OD is
classic.
pretty good versus Razor though, because you just.
Isn't Kunkka
Astro the
also
person.
a classic against the? Well, the Astral
used
doesn't
to be,
stop
yeah.
the link.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The Astral doesn't stop the link.
Yeah, but you can just run away, and the cast range of the now the cast range is the same at all levels. Like you can.
I see.
You're not gonna get
yeah, that's why you
anything
can
range.
3 now.
So that's
Yeah,
an
yeah.
old school old school matchup
Yes.
then. Gotcha. Okay.
When you had 200 cast.
All
range
right,
on the,
updating
on
the
Astro.
lexicon. Redact Razor from all things OD. Noted. Thank you.
It's good though. It's good to ask those questions as to why though.
Yeah.
Yes. Huh.
Man, this is a tough one.
Oh, before the bristle, I kind of wanted a TA, just a little bit. I don't know. Haven't seen TA in a while.
I mean, when
Like
we're
to see them
stumped
pop
like
off a
this,
little.
it seems like greed is where we go. You know, like those alchemist type heroes. But against OD, again, that's kind of scary. I don't know.
I just want something super easy and that can rotate, like Queen or some Queen-esque hero. You know, somebody just fights.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
feel like that Bristle.
Okay,
Oh
bad.
yeah, the back
Forgot
left
about the
after all
bat.
that.
Well, that's perfect.
All right.
That's beautiful.
As I said, Batrider mid, their best option. Very, very happy they went for it.
Wow.
Leo was
Yeah.
on the tide though.
Huh. Wow. I guess, yeah, I mean, you do have the Dispel, right? Interesting.
We're gonna get to see Tide versus Bat. We saw Slark versus Bat this morning in the lowers. Tide versus Bat's gonna be a hell of a matchup. So Frank will be the one to take the OD for position 3.
Hmm.
I
And
feel like he's
indeed,
just the only
four
one
boy.
that can sort of survive this.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. And it's another. So it's MNZ on the Bristle. It's another position 1 Bristleback. Wow.
Yep.
Position 1 Bristle with Coddle. Very interesting draft. So excited to see how this game unfolds. But who do we think is actually going to win?
It's a K1 Chaos Knight, man. I'm not going against that.
Okay.
This is easy, Thunder Predator. We're gonna go to game 3. We're gonna
Wow.
have more drafts, and yeah, the Bristleback's
More
just gonna
Willow
go ham, dude.
picks.
Well,
Yes.
I hope so. I'm a little nervous for this Tide. I'm really trying to envision this matchup. Is the Kraken shell enough to deal with all the sticky?
I can probably get him under the tower. The question is, how much farm does he actually get?
Right.
Yes.
And how much of the jungle wants to be occupied by a bristleback who wants some ancient stacks and stuff?
Yeah.
So, you know,
I
if he
also
gets
feel like-
forced out of the lane, he can go stack ancients for his bristle.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
true.
I also feel like the
That's
problem is
a-
Batrider fights at all times, and Tidehunter has a big cooldown. So
Mhm.
it kind of gives me PTSD of last game where you just see the Pango middle, and you see the Snipe Fire just getting kills after kills.
Okay.
That's kind of scary.
Well, let's see if Beast Coast 2-0 this thing or if Thunder Predator can take us to a game 3. We got to pause to load in, so plenty of time to digest these drafts and talk it out. Gary, it's your time to shine, buddy. You ready to fill? You got some jokes for us?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I'm definitely looking at the questions that you're asking. The Batrider against the Tide Theban, the question around the supports of Thunder Predator, more active with the Void Spirit in that POS 4 comparing to the Phoenix Cottle of last game. They've got a combo with the Cottle Bristleback. Do you think this is a more well-rounded draft from Thunder Predator?
I think it's a better draft than last game. I wouldn't call it a well-rounded draft because you still have the problem with having one Void Spirit as your sole disabler in your draft. So they're gonna have to rely on Moose quite a lot in this game to be able to move around, make all the plays happen. That being said, though, they have this Bristleback and Tidehunter who don't really need to move. They just kind of stay in the lane. They constantly shove the lane out, get farmed, make sure that they become like these dead lane heroes that Beast Coast won't be able to run into.
Sit back, get farm, don't leave your lanes. We'll see if Leo Style is able to do that against a Batrider. Like with Kraken Shell, you're going to be dispelling off the sticky napalm stacks.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
still fearful of your life in that lane, though.
level 1, it's a 600 damage threshold, so you can technically get to about 20% HP before that even pops, and you will die if that ever happens. So he's gonna have to be a little bit careful in this lane. That being said, you know, you're gonna get a lot of magic stick charges, and the tower is much closer to the creep wave around the mid lane, so you're gonna get that extra bonus armor and HP that will help you out as well for the Tidehunter.
It's not like you want to be maxing Kraken Shell though, right? Like,
no, you don't. You definitely. There's no way, Gary. Come on now.
But you. I mean, I'm saying that, like, stating it as fact. But do you want to go 1 point, 2 points? You know, the casual 1 point, and then max still go for your gush and your anchor smash. What's the plan for Leo style?
Yeah, maybe he might. You know what? There's a chance he might get 2 levels in Kraken Shell, but it's mostly all about that max out anchor smash and just farming as a mid Tidehunter. We've seen Thompson play this hero mid a couple of times. I think the last time I saw him play it was with an IO though. They don't have an IO on this team. He's good. He's so fast. Look at OD, man. Look at his movement speed, Gary.
How is he so speedy?
I don't know. He has wings. He flies. Unlike
4 legs.
Viper.
It's the legs, man. It's the 4 legs, the 2 wings. Because he's running in the air while flapping his wings, increasing that velocity. Such a speedy fella.
It actually just doesn't make any sense. Why does he have like 4 legs and like 2 arms if he has wings? You know?
Why not?
It just, I don't know. It just doesn't. Whoa, Frank just uses Fairy Fire on accident.
Whoopsie daisy. Well, he's full HP now. Up against that CK of K1. Grimstroke's coming in from behind. So we set up our dual lane there. And they've got a pretty nice little combo between Frank and Moose, don't they? The Astral into the Ether Remnant. If Stinger's out of position, they could find a couple of kills on him.
Yeah, they can. That you're completely right on that. The Astral Imprisonment into Remnant is a pretty nice setup. It's going to be a lot of damage.
But then equally...
The top... yeah, exactly, on the other team.
When they hit level 2, Inkswell with a Chaos Bolt. Real nasty stuff. Oh, looking towards mid, Chris Luck is already sticking it to that Tidehunter. Straight over him, just a couple of stacks of Napalm. Firefly him to half HP. Force the wand usage. And then down bottom, Whisper. He's trying to TP home. No stun gaming means that he is safe and sound, backed by his tier 1.
You know, Gary, I'm always confused when people want to pick heroes like Bristleback. Why they don't ban Batrider? Like, it's just one of the hardest counters in the game, if not for a break. You just get stickied throughout the whole team fight, then you get lassoed back into the enemy and you're facing forward. It's just such a disaster. So I think this Batrider is going to find a lot of value this game.
There's a lot of tools they can use to kite him around, right? Like, kick him away. Schofield's got the kick. You've got the Inkswell to try and run away from the Bristleback. The Dark Rift, able to disengage from MNZ. On top of that, Batrider, like you're mentioning. Stinger with the Inkswell up at top. Dissimulated away by Moose. And Schofield running away from the Cottle. Illuminate. Barely dodged out. Really nice move there into the trees. Earth Spirit. What was he going to do? Try and deny to neutrals? Go and
nah, he's taking MNZ on a walk.
A wild ride into the first blood. MJZ does grab it up for himself.
He's happy, very happy about that. And he's actually buying a Null Talisman on Keeper of the Light. What?
Oh, really?
Position 5 Null Talisman. I mean, that's what he's got built up. Mantle, Circlet, Quick Buy Null.
But why? Just for the mana regen?
I guess so. I mean, your guess is as good as mine here, Gary, on this one.
Interesting.
Indeed.
I mean, so, it gives you a bit of spell amp. Like, there was that period where people figured out that, like, double Null on Lina allows you to Dragon Slave creep waves, you know, in just a 2-spell combo, right? Is it a similar thing here with Illuminate? Like, he knows he can do X amount of damage and do something with it?
Probably not. I think he just wanted some extra stats. I did realize that Illuminate plus a Veil pretty much one-shots creep waves.
Oh,
which is pretty cool.
Top lane Inkswell. Frank with no Astral. Stunned up. K1 trying to chase, but now the Arcane Orbs come out. Stinger getting turned on by Moose. Has another Resonant Pulse, but they don't even need it. Just right-clicking him down.
Yep, they don't even have the Remnant and the Astro skilled up yet.
But look at Schofield. He's coming to batter them. Kick into Frank. Drag him back with that Rift. Stun him and kill him.
Realizing Underlord doesn't really need his help for the time being. And it's not like they can really apply any pressure onto the Bristleback right now. So just going to let the Underlord stay bottom with that magic stick. It's going to have plenty of sustain. Constantly be able to spam out with the Firestorm. And now the Earth Spirit going to just focus on trying to win the other lanes.
Yeah, stick around in that top lane. Both teams with Observer Wards up on that high ground now. 550 and 544. So the Dire one is a little older. So they should have seen that Radiant one get placed. Moo's trying to track back on the Earth Spirit. Watching out for that 4-minute rune spawn.
Runes?
Down at bottom for the Tide.
Yoso.
It's a haste for him, and he's winning out in this mid lane. He's going for a kill on the Batrider.
Yep.
Chasing him onto tier 1. Chris Luck, Firefly over the trees. It's a hasted Tide sprinting towards you, and that's it. Tide wins the lane. 1v1 against Batrider, all thanks to a haste.
That's his revenge tip right there for game number 1. Top though, Frank.
Is he in a spot of
No
bother?
Astral quite yet.
Yeah, Remnant back. Tries to get the Astral off and buy himself a bit of
Nice
time,
rope.
but this tri-lane from Beast Coast diving onto tier 1. They've silenced the Void Spirit. He's got no spells left, and K1's there with a crit.
Very good.
And they can't really
I mean,
pressure the
they're just
Underlord.
completely punishing them.
Like you mentioned,
Exactly.
Whisper's
They-
fine.
And that's why the Earth Spirit rotated away from the bottom as well. They make some really good communication on Beast Coast side here. And that magic wand just keeps them topped off. It feels so good for Whisper right now.
Yeah, looks like he's going to miss out on the bounty runes, though. MJZ, the speedy Cottle, gets there in
They get
behind
the-
him.
They'll get the 2 on top lane as the Spear
Yeah.
brothers are chasing one another.
Yeah, moves with a good old 1-1-1 build. And Earth Spirit, back to base we go. Oh yeah, that
really-
mid lane, even before the haste, Leostar was winning out in this lane CS-wise anyway.
Yeah,
Going
he
real
was.
great for the Tide.
I mean, the higher level you are, the more damage your Anchor Smash is doing, and the Batrider can't really like go on top of you. If you dive the tower against this Kraken Shell, it's just going to be a disaster at this point, since he has higher HP as well.
Whisper, got to be careful with those quill stacks. 3 of them on him. 9-1 charges. And that lane does start pushing towards the Radiant side, thanks to the pull through. While Cottle making some stacks for his Bristleback. Build up a nice array of creeps for him to farm. Oh, and Chris Luck with a bottled regen rune. They pinged that the rune was top, but they don't have vision of what it was. Silence in towards Moose, and Chris Luck with a lasso, thinking about it. Doesn't really want to spend it on a level 3 Void Spirit, but he might just have to get the kill. Combo it with the Inkswell, and K1 will, of course, very gladly secure the kill for a spree.
And all 4 of Beast Coast kills have been on this top lane. You can see the emphasis that they're putting into this top lane because that's the only lane where they can actually get kills for the time being. So whoever they can shut down, they focus on doing that, and then later on they'll try to deal with the Bristleback in team fights or something.
Yeah, because that OD is an important piece of the puzzle for TP, right? The Astral
is.
into Meteor Hammer, because he's catch, he's tower push, and he's the kind of tanky frontliner along with the Bristle and the Tidehunter. Like OD strength
He's
gain,
struggling
like
too.
the tankiness you get is pretty insane.
Yeah, and it's also that with a combination of like he's pretty much the only hero you can really go on. The only lane that you can try to kill. Mid is a Tidehunter, bottom is a Bristleback. Both of these heroes are like completely dead laning, where you don't really have any kill threat on these heroes until you get a lot of items.
Oh, Tidehunter thought he could come in here and maybe spot out the bat, but the stacks have already been cleared. So instead, focusing on trying to get a bit of chip damage on that tier 1 mid. And Moose, again, just scouting out the Earth Spirit. As Tide dives, trying to chase the Grimstroke away, but he doesn't want to pop Ravage for a pos 5. If the Void Spirit can get on top of him, I could take Stinger out. But Batrider's arrival means that Thunder Predator giving up the chase. And
Got
now
an
it's
8-minute boost of travel, Gary, on Chris Luck, those stacks, and some creeps. Look at his net worth on the Batrider versus the Tide. Although the Tide does have, more last hits from the laning stage and killed him once, they're dead even.
Yeah, what is it? 20 gold between them. Very, very close. And now Chris Luck, oh, he's got Ancient stacked. Go and kill off another large stack.
Middle tower is under
That's a massive amount of gold there.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
Grim mid,
get a
though.
catch on Stinger's Grim. Aether Remnant has the Inkswell and the Ravage. He does catch out 2 of them. Batrider sticking around here, looking for the lasso on the Void Spirit, so trading in that 1-for-1, while Leostyle, without Ravage now, has a Fairy Fire as a backup plan, but no one charges, and the roll from Schofield dodged out, but Leostyle has walked back into the fire. A double for Chris Luck. And they went diving for the Grimstroke. That was an action, a move that Thunder Predator consciously made.
Yeah, and you can see how if the Tidehunter gets to like 20% HP, even if his Kraken Shell pops, Batrider still does so much damage with the follow-up stickies and the Firefly on top of him. The Boots of Travels also allows him to stay on top of the Tide much easier. I mean, using Ravage just for the Grim kill and then dying for it? Oof. Painful.
Not a good look. And Beast Coast with the very active support duo now. I mean, they're both level 4 at 9 minutes, and it's probably why they're grouping up now to go and look for a bit more action, get closer to that level 6.
Yeah,
but
you know who they're going for, right? The one
the
lane
OD.
they can get kills on.
Scouted by Moose, though, in a great position. Still going to get there with the Inkswell after the Astral's already spent. So Frank's going to get chain stunned. Even Phantasm for this. On top of the OD we go. Whisper dives bottom to MNZ. The Bristle gets 1 kill, but Frank, he is incredibly tanky. Dragged back into the crits of K1. And looks like they'll just allow Moose to run away. Good timing around the bounty rune spawning, though.
On the Underlord as well.
Oh, great connection from the roll. Schofield goes up here expecting just a roll towards bounty rune. It connects onto Moose, and I thought it'd be an opportunity for them to go and look for kills. Instead, retreating back towards their K1 carry. Oh man, Whisper's level 8. Like, the fact he's had a solo lane. So much experience has gone into this Underlord.
And this guy's an incredible offlane player. And check out mid lane right now. Leostyle just bullying up this tower with this double damage. They can't do anything against him. He's got that level 3 Kraken Shell too.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Yeah, and he'll claim it. In the meantime, Bat is taking those big stacks, though. Ancients and Large Camp. So now he's got Boots of Travel and 1,700 gold in the bank. Actually, a bit more after this Dragon and the Centaur. 1,900. BKB?
Boy.
Yes?
Yes, BKB, straight up. That's your item this game. I mean, it's the bread and butter. Oh, bottom, they're going for MNZ? I'm not sure you can actually do this.
Well, Schofield finds MJZ in the mid lane. Well, you're right, MNZ is going to get TP'd on by the Batrider. He's already escaped from the Pit of Malice. Chris
Luck is here now. That's the Bristleback Slayer right there. It's the Batrider. If he gets like 3 or 4 stacks, he'll go on this Bristle.
He's got Windlace and Boots of Travel. Dragging him into the Firestorm and the Pit of Malice. The hood is there, but that barrier has all been used up. So the Flame Break comes and a dominating K1 as they transition from the top lane down bot. And they'll get a kill on the carry with the ability to shove this tier 1. Unfortunately, they lost the catapult though.
Yeah, what happened there was Leostyle's TP, he was trying to go in to help the Bristleback, but got cancelled by the Earth Spirit. So Schofield making some big plays there, because the Tidehunter was able to get to that bottom and get a Ravage off. You saw how low the Batrider was diving the Bristleback already. It could have been some real dangerous moves from Beast Coast.
Oh, they make it work out. Yeah, well done, Schofield. Good spot, Theban. That push top, though, with a Meteor Hammer from OD and the Tide shoving. They get the objective up there, and it looks like OD has started to come alive a little bit. Spotting out Schofield. Tidehunter just throws a gush his way.
MNZ again, getting very low, but again, without the Batrider, they can't really bring him down.
And so it's just going to be K1 backing into the jungle. Hand of
He
Midas.
really wanted to open up the map bottom side, though. That's why he's there, even if there's a Bristleback, but realizing there's nothing that he can do. I like this Midas pickup, Gary. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a big fan of it on the Chaos Knight, because he can really struggle to catch up or accelerate his farm, can't he?
Yeah,
not really.
I think so.
Not really a Battle Fury or Radiance hero.
It doesn't really have any, good items to farm with. Midas attack speed, very nice. Earth Spirit just getting picked off, trying to get some XP top lane here.
Yeah, 3 heroes all around him. But yeah, you really want K1 to just be this big tanky man as bottom lane. They come in with Chris Luck again. Flame break into the Pit of Malice, so the double root comes as MNZ at half HP in the backup of Leo Style. Moose jumps in. Astral steps towards Whisper, catching him out. He throws a Firestorm, but that'll be his last dying move, as they also get an Astral Meteor Hammer combo, catching out Chris Luck, or not quite. Pushed back in, the chase forward as Santi's Eclipse kills off the bat. Kotl still alive as the Ravage connecting onto K1 and that Stinger Grimstroke. A roll back in from Schofield, but he's banished once more. Frank and Leo Style controlling up the entirety of the Beast Coast side. Schofield just about rolls away. And they will survive with only one casualty. And Kotl, whoa. Wait, how did Schofield kill him? What?
The Magnetize Urn? Yep.
He was miles away.
I just got disconnected from the game. But yeah, that fight, you can see how afraid they are of that Ravage. And they really cannot fight into the Ravage either. You go into Batrider, try to lasso the Bristleback, you know, you could kill him. But if you get Ravaged while you're lassoing, it turned the fight around, it's going to be a complete disaster. But
nice
now
dodge
that the
on
Ravage...
well.
Okay. I'm back, Gary. I'm back in the game.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, definitely a sticking point for them, that Ravage, but when you start to consider BKBs are getting closer and closer to Beast Coast, that's the ultimate answer to it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, definitely.
All of a sudden...
Back. He's going to have Lotus. Oh, very good decision here from MNZ to go for that Lotus after the hood. So every time he sees the Batrider walking into him with like 3 or 4 stacks, he can just pop that Lotus, remove the Napalm, and if the Batrider tries to lasso him, he's going to deal real bad.
Yeah, there's so many single target spells too. K1 just getting forced away from the lane. Not really looking to kill him off there. They do drag the Tide under the tier 1. Spam pings come out from the Radiant side as MNZ decides to dive. Stinger stuns him with the Inkswell. And a DD moves. Void Spirit comes in, says thank you very much. Stuck around for way too long. An incredibly tanky Bristleback. And you're right, that Lotus Orb's going to be great against Batrider and also up against that Grimstroke. So a bit of split push action from the Beast Coast side as they have to relinquish some of this map to the big tanky boys of Thunder Predator. 16 minutes in, looking way more comfortable than they did in game 1.
Yeah, and this is off the back of Leo Style and MNZ just beasting it up in their lanes, being these tanky boys that Beast Coast just can't deal with. Also helping one another whenever the Batrider does try to make a play on them. They do have the BKB now on the bat. They want to do something. They just lost a tier 2 tower.
Try and reclaim their triangle. Bristleback, the only hero showing and the only one right now that they can go on. And there is that Lotus Orb, but look at the damage actually coming in onto him. Bristleback being pounded. K1, Mega Kill streak continues. They've got the cat on the Void Spirit. Stinger does fall, but he might have bought enough time here for them to gather up a couple more miscellaneous kills. The OD. Ravage comes, does connect on to the entirety of Beast Coast there, and K1 stuck down on the low ground, destroyed. Schofield finally arrives, turns with the Magnetize. Chris Luck onto the Kotl, the Tide's still full HP. Leo Style trying to battle 1 versus 3, but I think he might have bitten off more than he can chew. He can eat everything under the sea, but I don't know if he can nibble on this Underlord. Pit of Malice will hold him back, but they're struggling. They've got sticky charges up, they've got rolls forward, but the Tidehunter with the Vlads is life-stealing so much off of everyone. Orb of Corrosion, Gush with the minus armor. They can't touch this man. Leo Style is too powerful. Look at him, he's spinning around in circles. The pirouetting Tidehunter.
There's nothing they can do to actually bring him down with the hood. I mean, you're going to need the Chaos Knight alive to be able to kill him. That's good. I love this build. They need another carry in this game for sure. Desotide's going to be able to do that.
Sick. Orb of Corrosion, Vlad's Hood Deso. They try and initiate on him. Good luck, Beast Coast. Let's see what you can do. Give it to the Tide. Soulbind, there it is, onto Leo Style and that Void Spirit. They've got a run of Atos, but the Astral save buys some time. In with the Meteor Hammer, trying to catch that K1 Chaos Knight. Out with the Astral Step, the Void Spirit disengages. They've got the Gush and the Lotus Orb to try and save Leo Style, but he is finally down. They get the kill. 2-for-1 trade. Beast Coast, they come into their triangle for the second time. And this time around, they are looking way more in control. Bristle a little isolated now. They don't have that Batrider lasso for another 10 seconds. struggling to finish off any additional targets. And it looks like Whisper trying to escape while Frank getting chased down by a BKB bat. Now the lasso comes, grabs the Invis rune, shreds through Frank while Whisper's Underlord with a backup of Grimstroke. What's Hector doing? Hector's hitting creeps. CK's like, you guys go and touch the Bristleback. I'm really not interested.
He's not. He's got to get his items. I mean, you see the Tidehunter, the only way to really kill him is if they have the Chaos Knight there. You need those big Chaos Strikes to pierce through the Kraken shell.
Void Spirit. Under the sentry, they do see the Bat Rider. And Bristleback with a Chakra Magic, spitting out that nasal goo onto Grimstroke. Feeling tanky enough to just go in and just a double kill. Couriers go fallen. Dropping out of the sky.
I mean, those couriers are probably worth more than a kill on the support, to be honest. They just gave so much gold towards Thunder Predator side. I mean, they really want this triangle area. They don't want K1 to be farming this at all. And that's why you see Beast Coast constantly running back in there and trying to take it back. They succeeded twice in terms of killing the Bristleback and the Tide. But this time, it's not going to be possible. Beast Coast are like, alright guys, you can have that. I guess we'll farm somewhere else.
Go farm somewhere else. That's not how you talk to K1, the carry god, farm pattern king. He pop his Phantasm, shove out top lane, farm the jungle.
Yeah, he wants to maximize his farming speed right now to get to that BKB. As soon as they get to BKB, they're going to smoke up again on Beast Coast, for sure. And so, I think in the next fights, you don't want to really focus the Tide out of Bristleback anymore. You want to kill this OD and the supports.
That's kind of the point I was going to ask you. At this stage of the game, you know, we're looking 19, 20 minutes in, Bristleback and Tidehunter, if they frontline and decide to go high ground, do you think Beast Coast can actually defend against this? Like OD, Koshal, Void Spirit, sit behind them?
Surely they can. What's going to happen is if you go high ground with these 5 heroes, is Earth Spirit's going to roll into the back, he's going to magnetize and silence everyone, then Lasso's going to come out and drag a hero all the way into the tier 4s, and then the Chaos Knight is just going to pop that one hero and then chase you guys down one by one. You're also fighting into the Underlord Root plus the Firestorm, and the Firestorm does a lot of damage against these strength heroes, even if you have Hood.
Well, that is true, yeah. And he's gone for the talent, +2 Firestorm wave count, so they can keep them stuck in place. Some serious damage. Look, get that tier 2 bot. No real contest there for Beast Coast. And we've got a BKB on the Chaos Knight. That's what they've been waiting for. Bristleback. Pretty happy just sticking around there. Has the Kotal just behind him. And Radiant with vision up on that high ground too. See pretty much everything coming their way. Oh, Chris Luck farming on the other side of the map. And he's got this Earth Spirit rolling in. Good to assimilate. Gets moves out of there. Another Astral Step.
They don't have Lasso there. Couldn't pick up moves and get the rune. So they get 3 runes for Thunder Predator. Another small win here for them. They're trying to gain back that gold lead.
That's been dead even all game, hasn't it?
So
the biggest lead has been about 2k for Beast Coast. Apart from that,
and this is just going in.
I mean, the Tidehunter's battling with that CK. Astral's there, and so is the Ravage. Soulbind comes. Underlord and Grimstroke still trying to make the move forward. This Tidehunter, he can't handle the BKB from K1. Now another roll onto that Bristleback. Chris Luck takes down Frank, and 2 core heroes removed means Thunder Predator, they've got to run. Bristleback, I mean, okay, he's going to get 1 kill here on the Grimstroke, but he's overextending without the rest of his team. Void Spirit's being annihilated by the Bat Rider, makes the jump to the high ground, but the Bristleback, he is in a lot of trouble. A double there for Chris Luck as he finds moves. Another stun from K1. Doesn't want to get stuck up in all the quill sprays and goo, so he'll leave it to his Underlord with a Firestorm that you mentioned, and they'll go for the wipe. They want the 5th man. It's Kotal dragged back into the Pit of Malice, and down you go.
Man, you can see how much damage the Bristleback took. He took 1.7k damage from the Underlord in that last fight. Even though he has a Hood, like, it really doesn't matter. This Firestorm, if you sit in it, you're gonna melt. And that was such a weird engagement from Thunder Predator. I was like, yo, MGZ just running, MNZ just running in there. And that's where Beast Coast have set up, had vision, and just farming. So you're pretty much running to 5 heroes.
K1 on the way back. He BKB Phantasms. He wants to fight. He's on 30% HP, but he wants to go for Leo style. Now he's going to TP home with that BKB still going. Chris Luck trying his luck. Pops his own BKB. Shiny Golden Batrider under the Astral moves. Is going to burn to the Firefly. No. Dissimulates away. So close to death.
I would say Thunder Predator definitely got a little bit of a break there. They got the Seekie and the Batrider to both use their BKBs. Bat's now down to 6 seconds. Chaos Knight's at 8. This is what they need. They need these long drawn-out fights on Thunder Predator where the BKBs run out and then the Ravage comes out. In the last engagement, the Ravage came out after the CK BKB. I don't think Leo Style even realized that he had a BKB on the Chaos Knight.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, either that or they were playing the game of chicken. Like, who's gonna use theirs first? And K1 comes out ahead. And it's double damage on the Bristleback though into the Roche Pit. And like you said, that victory there for Thunder Predator, popping both BKBs of the Dire Cause, means it's Aegis time for the Bristle.
Incredibly fast Roshan killing heroes too. We got that Goo and then the Gush. So much minus armor. Almost has Deso now on Tide. About 400 gold away.
Whisper. Yeah, Dark Rift time. Get the hell out of there. I mean, just look, the Bristle does a lot of damage even without that double damage rune. 7 Warpath stacks. Some hefty hits. 210 bonus damage.
Bottom tower is under attack.
He needs an Abyssal Blade on this Bristleback so he can hold these heroes down and just pretty much kill them during the duration of the Abyssal. Honestly, most of Bristleback's damage comes from this Goo just removing armor.
And then actually punching people. Sticking on them, chasing them. TP's mid, Schofield has another roll. Oh, straight away from Moose. I thought maybe there the Void Spirit could have caught him out with a block on the roll. And again, we're moving into that dire triangle area, Theban. Look at the line drawn, the positioning from MNC and Leo Style. Let's get back up into that spot. Retake it.
Yeah, K1 already knows. He's like all the way at bottom. He's like, I ain't going there. I ain't gonna be the first one getting hit and losing all my HP before I use my Phantasm.
It's not safe to go alone up there.
They're gonna smoke down to K1. They want him. They see the Underlord in the base too. K1's gotta get out.
Is it gonna be a BKB TP?
Yeah, it has to be. There's no other way. I mean, that's an 8-second BKB. Now it's gone down to 7. That's 2 defensive BKBs used from Chaos Knight already. And this hero hates his BKBs being wasted. Because he needs every little advantage or every little win that he could possibly get to stay up there as like a real carry hero.
Yeah, it's a real fine line for him. Between Order and Chaos. Heart of Tarrasque coming up, but needs to get some usage out of that Midas. He's been passive for way too long. Down at bottom, Stinger. He was lurking around for quite some time. They're also going to find Chris Luck's bat. Gets his BKB off though, and away he goes. So that's, what, 4 in a row now. They've used BKBs to escape from the grasps of Thunder Predator, and they're diving mid lane at the same time. MNZ with Leo Star's Ravage onto the CK and the Underlord. Chasing under tier 3s. They do have an Aegis on the Bristleback, but 4 seconds stun into the Firestorm. And the Rod of Atos. Where does he run? Nowhere. He gets stuck. Turns around with a Lotus Orb. Meteor Hammer onto that tier 3 with a Catapult Wave. And Thunder Predator have transitioned from the bottom lane fight into a bit of a mid lane push.
The Bristleback has the Aegis. He's just playing like a maniac and constantly pressuring, but that Ravage was super questionable. Without your team there, you don't really have a whole lot of damage. I know the Chaos Knight didn't have his BKB. He BKB TP'd out, but the BB and you together, not enough DPS right now.
Even with that Deso, yeah.
Yeah.
Going for an Assault Cuirass next on Tide. Minus armor galore.
Be a big item. Oh, it's gonna be huge. He gets like a BK. He gets like an AC and a Shivas this game. Good luck killing him.
And Frank, cheeky bugger with that haste rune, runs into mid, gets the Astral, runs away, allowing his team to backstab Schofield. Another sneaky little roll up to high ground. Good pit from Whisper. The roll though connecting now onto MNZ as he's kicked away. Chris Luck With that BKB, chases forward, tries to get the lasso, but it's a bit of a save coming out as the Dissimulate allows Moose to jump in. They've killed off the OD though, and Whisper's still going. Big Golden Underlord with a K1 CK whacking into your OD. Stunned up and he can't move. The Disables and Execution from Beast Coast, they've killed off 4 heroes, the Aegis is down, and Bristleback is the only hero alive. They've killed off the rest of his squad, and MNZ, what can he do? Pop Lotus, he's not used his Eternal Shroud or his wand. I think he's just relinquishing his life there and realizing it's all dead to rights. A 5-man wipe for Beast Coast. But I'm struggling. How? Why? Is that because
Very
Ravage is
simple,
down?
Gary. You got it. You can see the tips coming out, right? They know Leo Style messed up big time there by using that Ravage on the mid lane. That's a long cooldown. Very easy to calculate when it's going to be back up. Beast Coast is like, all right, Ravage is down. Our BKBs are off cooldown. Let's go. And somehow Thunder Predator were confused. They were surprised that Beast Coast is actually running at them. This is your one big team fight spell. What else you got? Sanities? Like, that's barely doing any damage as a position 3 underfarmed OD.
Yeah, and as the fight progressed, you're like, okay, Underlord's nearly dead. But then you realize K1's full HP, Batrider's chasing your backlines. You focused so much onto the Underlord through his BKB, not even taking him out.
Yeah, that was also a dieback, by the way, from the OD.
Oh,
so he's really like, he was the first one getting picked off, buys back, comes into a fight, dies again. It's just so bad. I mean, Beast Coast, they're such an amazing team at understanding which targets to go on, who they have damage for, and Thunder Predator, they're gonna have to step up the game if they want to have any chance of winning this right now.
It's a real great showcase. I know Zari likes talking about the kind of offense, the defense, the disparate styles there of playing forward or playing back in order to counter initiate and play. Game 1, Beast Coast were the ones always making the move. They were aggressive, they got a lead, and they compounded that lead over and over again. This game, it felt, much more that Thunder Predator were in the driving seat, moving forward with these tanky heroes, controlling the map.
Yeah.
And Beast Coast just waiting for that perfect moment to swing it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And a smoke coming out from TP now. Around this Roach
I think that's
pit.
always the strength of this Beast Coast team. They're very patient and understand when it's their timing. Where a lot of these Thunder Predator, or not Thunder Predator, but South American teams, they do things sporadically.
Sort of spontaneous movements rather than overall planning. Yeah. No Roshan for at least 1 minute. Bristleback trying to loop around behind Beast Coast. Getting rolled on. There's another BKB, and it's Schofield with that Earth Spirit coming in. A nice Soulbind catching the 2 cores. Leashed, silenced, stunned. Astral to try and buy a bit of time for the Tide. But MNZ and Frank both dying. They've got BKBs going on Whisper again, and MNZ under that Firestorm didn't stand a chance. K1 can still run forward with the Batrider looking for the Flame Break in the back. They're going to Rotovate us forward onto the Tide Hunter, Leo style. They crits from these illusions. Too much to handle. They've got a lasso on the Void Spirit. Moose caught up by Chris Luck. All across the map, Beast Coast finding kills. Another 4 heroes smackdown.
Oh, I think that's the nail in the coffin, Gary. Their morale is just
shattered.
Yeah. Two fights like that, you lose all your heroes where you don't kill anybody, no trades. You're playing these strength heroes where you're supposed to be this immovable wall that Beast Coast can't penetrate, and you're just dying like nothing. This Tide Hunter, Leo style, he can't even use a proper Ravage anymore against this triple because, like you called it, right? The BKBs, once that's the counter to the Ravage.
Yeah.
And they just use it like 1 by 1, and now you're like, okay, hold on, when do I Ravage? When do all of these BKBs go off, and then I can do something that's gonna save my allies, and they just don't find it.
Can't do it. Well, that Dark Rift, I was wondering where they were going. Down to bottom lane, clear out the mid racks, straight down to bot.
BKBs are back up. That's pretty much the only cooldowns they're playing off of on Beast Coast. The BKBs and maybe the lasso.
Thunder Predator trying to make a last-ditch effort. They've walked into it though, and Leo style, he can't. The save from the Astral gets him away from K1's grasps as the Meteor Hammer trying to land, but Leo style just has to turn and run. Frank drops a Santi's Eclipse, but it accomplishes nothing. They've rolled onto the Kotal, killed him off. The Ravage, sure, it looks pretty with all the tentacles everywhere, but it does bloody nothing. Moose now trapped, destroyed by Chris Luck and Whisper, while K1 moves to the bigger target. It's MNZ giving a double kill to K1CK, and they call GG. Beast Coast with a 2-0 victory, cementing their place top of the group and top of South America.
Can we just like congratulate Beast Coast already? Already? Or
Congratulations on the major spot? Yeah, why not?
I mean, there's no. Beast Coast is just unstoppable at this rate. Like against all these South American teams, just watching this game, I think Thunder Predator, they had a decent enough draft and they had a good idea of like being, again, picking something, not a lot of disables, but being this immovable wall that Beast Coast won't be able to deal with. But at the end of the day, Beast Coast they just don't give the space or the mistakes that Thunder Predator are looking for. They just split the map, they get the right items, they don't give random kills away, especially on their cores. And once they have the right items and they see that Thunder Predator made a mistake, one mistake, that's it, one Ravage, that was just completely ruined their game. So I think Beast Coast are just so many notches ahead of all these South American teams right now.
Yeah, I'm fully in agreement. I think the panel is ready to take it away to break down that 2-0 stomping we witnessed from Beast Coast. Boys, how was that?